My name's Jessica, and I'm a curriculum director. I used to use Microsoft PowerPoint, but I currently use Prezi for presentations. For more reviews like this, click below. Both of these softwares are useful for presentations anytime you're needing to introduce a new topic to a group of people, whether you're teaching like a college course or it's elementary students. So introducing new topics, introducing academic concepts like vocabulary, new topics that you're going to be looking into in class, timelines, historical events, really anything that lends itself towards a visual, like helping with a visual representation, is good with Prezi or with PowerPoint. So it just serves as a presentation tool and can work with a lot of different age groups and for a variety of topics. I feel like Prezi is best for making presentations that are interactive, especially if it's something that you might not just have like a board that you're going through the presentation. Maybe it's a presentation that you want people accessing on individual laptops or even in their own homes, because it allows them to click through at their own pace and then kind of like go into topics and zoom in and zoom out of things that are important. It also allows them to kind of learn or take in the information at their own pace because if they're accessing it individually at their own desktop or laptop computer, they can click back at any point. They can review information. So it's something that can be, I guess, like asynchronous. It doesn't have to be something that you're doing live or that you're doing, in front of a whole group of people. It could be something that people can kind of take in when they get time to learn about it or when they're ready to dig into the information. So I think it's really strong in just getting people into your presentation. It's a lot more visually appealing than PowerPoint is. It's less linear. It reminds me more of how your brain works, almost like a mind map of zooming in on the main topic and then delving into the subtopics versus being more linear like traditional presentation or PowerPoint. I think that Microsoft PowerPoint is strongest when it comes to something you need to be able to print out a handout for. So, for instance, since it is traditional and it has the linear slides, you can add in speaker notes, which is helpful if it is something you're presenting to a large group. But also, it's just really easy to print out handout versions or worksheet versions of your presentation, especially if it's something that you want to give people a physical copy of your presentation to take notes while you're giving it. Or, for instance, if you're teaching and you want them to take notes while it's something you're going through in class, so then they can have access to it online, but they also have the tactile, the physical version of it, which is something that you don't always have with like the newer presentation tools. I feel that it's kind of hard to remember how easy it was or how difficult it was to start using Microsoft PowerPoint because it is something that a lot of people kind of grew up with, at least people that are older. I remember having a hard time with it. I remember it definitely being a learning curve as a younger student learning how to use PowerPoint. At the same time, it's one of those things that, just like with Google Slides, there's so many things that are similar. They're similarly formatted now to Microsoft PowerPoint, and so much has been based on Microsoft PowerPoint that it's made learning other formats or presentation formats easier over time. So Microsoft PowerPoint wasn't necessarily easy to learn at first, but if you're used to the format or you're used to navigating different presentation softwares, I don't feel like it would take you very long to grasp and be successful with Microsoft PowerPoint. I do feel like Prezi is more, it's more intuitive. It's more, I feel like it's easier to learn. I feel like if you were having to choose which one to introduce students to in a way that would motivate them to want to learn it and also would be more user friendly, I would recommend Prezi just because there's so many different templates to choose from. There's so many examples you can view for free online, And it's just it's a pretty simple layout, and easy to add like nodes to it, or subtract nodes from it. And it just doesn't take a lot of effort to make something that's really visually appealing and engaging using Prezi. So if you were comparing the two, I definitely think Prezi is easier to get started with if you're not familiar with a lot of different presentation tools. Coming from an education background, my top priority when looking at software of any kind, um, unfortunately, comes down to price a lot of times. Is it something we can use for free, or at least get started on for free before we decide we want to commit to a more advanced or like comprehensive version of it? I really liked Prezi also because, like Prezi, there are some format or there's some presentation tools that allow educators specifically or students to have free versions or unlimited access to it. So I have never had to pay for Prezi versus something like Microsoft PowerPoint. You would have to purchase licenses for your device to then download that app or that program onto it. I know there's a workaround with that because you could also just use Google Slides, which is essentially Microsoft PowerPoint, but it's free. Not unlimited storage, but it's free. Um, but yeah, my top consideration is going to be price first of all, and then is it engaging, and then is it easy to use and or easy for me to show people how to use. Because when it comes to things with technology at my district, we're smaller. So although I'm curriculum, I'm also technology. So it's something that I have to be able to see myself teaching to others, um, and something I could see them not only like being willing to learn, but something that isn't going to be hard for them to see the purpose in it and the usefulness of it. And I can get buy-in for them so they'll really pay attention and like soak in the information versus just sitting through another presentation about another tech tool that I'd like them to try. So definitely so price and engagement, and how easy is it going to be for me to incorporate this and to teach um, small or large groups of adults with different technology backgrounds how to use it.